Spraying water directly on a hot engine? That's how you turn a small cleaning job into a blown motor. And that's just one of the simple mistakes people make without thinking. From topping off the gas tank until it spills to using dish soap on paint, these habits quietly wreck cars. Wait until you hear mistake number 3. It's the fastest way to kill your ride. 8. Ignoring your dashboard warnings until it's too late. You know that little glowing check engine light? Yeah, apparently 45% of drivers think it's just a friendly suggestion. They'll keep driving for 3 whole months or more with it lit up like a Christmas decoration, ignoring the fact it could be something that's slowly killing their car from the inside. And no, this isn't just about it looking ugly on your dashboard. We're talking serious, wallet-draining damage. Catalytic converters and sensors are not cheap to fix. We're looking at anywhere between $1,000 and $2,500, and that's if you're lucky. But let's talk about the low oil pressure warning. That one's even worse. Ignore it, and in as little as 20 minutes, you can turn your engine into a giant paperweight. 20 minutes. That's barely enough time to get through a drive-thru. Yet people still choose to just keep going like they're in a Fast and Furious movie. Newsflash: Vin Diesel isn't paying your repair bills. And then there's the magic of modern OBD2 systems. These things log fault codes instantly. So if you think you can waltz into a dealership and claim, "I didn't know," congratulations, your warranty coverage is probably gone. They can literally see the exact moment you decided to ignore the warning. Oh, and ignoring ABS or airbag lights? That's a whole new level of dangerous. Not only are you risking your safety, but if you get into an accident, your insurance can straight up deny your claim. Imagine paying thousands out of pocket because you thought a little glowing icon wasn't urgent. Brilliant move, right? And speaking of brilliant moves that kill your car faster than you can say, repair bill, let's move on to another one. 7. Running your car on low fuel until the tank is bare. Some people must think running on fumes is a sport. They'll let the needle hit empty and then somehow convince themselves they're saving money by avoiding the gas station. Here's the truth. Your fuel pump lives inside your tank and it's cooled by the fuel itself. You let it drop below a quarter tank too often, you're basically slow roasting the pump until it fails. And when it does fail, guess what? You're looking at $600 to $1,200 to replace it. Sometimes it even happens while your car's still under warranty, but conveniently, the fine print often leaves you hanging. But wait, it gets even better. Low fuel sucks up years' worth of sediment sitting at the bottom of your tank. You know, all the little bits of dirt and debris that have been slowly building up? That stuff gets pulled into your fuel injectors and sensors, clogging them up like a teenager's pores. Repairs for that? Also not cheap. And if you've got certain automatic transmissions, you're in for another surprise. Some rely on proper fuel levels for cooling, and running on fumes can cause them to overheat way sooner than they should. But sure, go ahead and keep pushing it to the last drop. I'm sure that $60 you saved on gas will totally make up for the $1,200 repair bill later. Now, speaking of saving money in ways that actually cost you more, 6. Coasting in neutral to save fuel. The myth that burns more gas. There's this myth that coasting downhill in neutral is the ultimate fuel-saving hack. Yeah, maybe if we were still driving cars from the 1970s. In modern vehicles, if you're in gear and take your foot off the gas, the ECU actually cuts fuel injection to 0. You're literally using no gas at all. But put it in neutral, now your engine has to idle, which means it's burning fuel the whole time. Congratulations, you've just outsmarted yourself, and if you thought that was bad, wait for the brake bill. Coasting removes engine braking completely, so your brake pads are doing all the work. That's up to 30% more wear, meaning more frequent replacements. And last I checked, brake jobs weren't exactly free. Oh, and let's not forget the whole oil pressure and coolant circulation thing. When you're in neutral, both drop, which means your engine and transmission aren't getting the cooling they need. Especially on long descents, it's like jogging without drinking water. You can do it, but you're gonna regret it later. And then there's the fun part, braking fade. This is when your brakes get so hot they basically stop working. If you're in a 2-ton SUV going downhill with no engine braking, you're cooking your brakes like they're on a barbecue grill. Sounds fun until you realize stopping becomes optional. But if you think that's a bad habit, wait until you hear about what people do to their engines in the morning. 5. Revving a cold engine. Like it's a race car, there's something about a cold morning that makes some people want to fire up their car and immediately floor it like they're qualifying for a race. Here's the thing. When you first start your engine, the oil is still thick and hasn't made its way to all the important parts yet. Revving above 3,000 RPM at this stage, that's like running a marathon without warming up. Except instead of sore muscles, you're grinding down your engine's bearings and pistons. Engines need about 30 to 60 seconds after startup to get proper lubrication. Ignore that, and you can cut your engine's lifespan by up to 20%. That's not me making stuff up. That's actual wear and tear happening way faster than it should. Now, if it's winter and the temperature's below freezing, it's even worse. Oil can take 2 to 3 minutes to fully warm up in sub-zero temps. So that guy blasting down the street right after starting his car, he's not just showing off, he's showing his mechanic what he'll be fixing in a couple years. And turbocharged engines? Oh boy. Those things need oil even more than regular engines, and cold revving them is basically begging for turbo failure. And turbos aren't exactly cheap. We're talking thousands to replace. But hey, nothing says I'm smart with my money like destroying a $3,000 part just to hear your engine roar before your coffee kicks in. And trust me, if you think cold revving is dumb, the next habit somehow manages to be even worse. 4th, mixing old and new brake pads or rotors. This one's basically the automotive version of wearing one brand new sneaker and one worn out slipper. It works, but you're going to regret it. Mixing new brake pads with worn rotors might seem like good enough in the moment, but here's the ugly truth. Uneven friction means your stopping distance can shoot up by as much as 40%, and that's especially dangerous when the road's wet. You might as well hang a sign on your bumper saying, "Pray for me," and that's not the only hit you're taking. Put shiny new pads on old chewed up rotors and you're slashing your pad life by anywhere from 25% to 50%. Why? Because the pads aren't making perfect contact. They're glazing over, which basically turns them into polished hockey pucks. Your braking efficiency drops, and suddenly that budget repair turns into a brake job you're repeating way sooner than you should. If that's not bad enough, modern ABS systems are pretty fussy. If braking force isn't uniform across your axles, the sensors can get confused and start misreading wheel speed. You might stomp on the pedal expecting perfect stopping power, but your ABS might decide to play a guessing game instead. And the cherry on top? Once the damage is done, getting mismatched braking components back in shape isn't cheap. We're talking $800 to $1,500 to undo the mess. All because you thought new pads on old rotors was a clever shortcut. Spoiler, it's not. And speaking of pushing limits in all the wrong ways. 3. Overloading your vehicle beyond manufacturer specs. Look, your vehicle's gross vehicle weight rating, that's GVWR for short, isn't just a polite suggestion from the manufacturer. It's the line between safe driving and why are my brakes on fire? Go over that limit by as little as 10%, and your risk of brake failure jumps 26%. That's right, just a couple extra bags of cement or a trailer you figured would be fine can make your stopping power vanish when you need it most. But it's not just your brakes taking the hit. Overloading is like sending your transmission to the gym without a warm-up. It overheats, especially in automatics, and that shortens transmission fluid life from the usual 60,000 miles to under 20,000. Imagine cutting its lifespan by 2/3 just because you couldn't say no to loading up that extra ATV. And tires? Oh, you're playing with fire there too. According to the NHTSA, 30% of tire blowouts happen because of weight overload. So while you're patting yourself on the back for getting it all in one trip, you might also be setting yourself up for a roadside explosion at highway speeds. If you think your insurance will save you after the fact, think again. If the investigation shows your vehicle was over its weight limit during an accident, they can flat out deny your claim. Picture footing the bill for repairs, damages, and hospital visits, all because you decided to play delivery truck for a day. And while we're on the subject of vehicle health being slowly destroyed, let's talk about something people neglect constantly. 2. Neglecting tire pressure and alignment checks. Tire pressure isn't just some random number printed on a sticker in your door jamb. Underinflate your tires and you're basically giving away money every time you drive. For every 1 PSI drop, you lose about 0.2% in fuel economy. Doesn't sound like much until you realize that driving around 8 PSI low means you're burning through nearly 2% more fuel every single tank. Then there's alignment. And oh boy, ignoring it is like throwing cash out the window. Poor alignment can chew through your tires 12,000 miles faster than normal. That's an extra $500 or more in early replacement costs, just because you didn't feel like booking a 30-minute alignment check. But the bigger problem? Uneven tire wear destroys your wet weather grip. We're talking up to 40% less traction in the rain. That's the difference between stopping safely and sliding into the back of someone's shiny new SUV. And don't think overinflating your tires is any better. On a hot day, internal heat expansion can push them past their safe limit, increasing blowout risk. It's like overfilling a balloon and leaving it in the sun. Eventually it's going to pop, and in this case, you're in the driver's seat when it happens. And if you think tire neglect is bad, wait until you hear what people do to their transmissions. 1. Skipping transmission. Fluid changes on Sealed for Life units. The infamous Sealed for Life transmission. Sounds great, right? No maintenance, no fluid changes, just drive forever. Yeah, no, that's marketing spin, not reality. Even most of these so-called sealed transmissions still need their fluid changed every 60,000 to 80,000 miles if you actually want them to last. Skip those changes and you're on the fast track to slipping gears, overheating, and eventual total transmission failure. And when that happens, you're not just fixing a part, you're looking at a full rebuild or replacement. That's anywhere from $3,500 to $7,000 gone from your bank account, just because you believe the lifetime fluid fairy tale. And here's the thing, heat is the #1 killer of automatic transmissions. Fluid breakdown starts at just 220 degrees Fahrenheit, and under heavy loads or in hot climates, you can hit that temperature in no time. Once the fluid breaks down, it can't protect the moving parts, and the wear accelerates fast. CVT transmissions are even touchier. Let them go past 100,000 miles without a fluid change, and failure rates literally double. And if you've ever had to replace a CVT, you know they're basically the luxury yacht of repair bills. So yeah, sealed for life might sound cool, but the real meaning is sealed until it dies prematurely. And when it does, the only thing that's going to feel lighter than your transmission is your wallet. And if you want your car and your wallet to survive, hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next list of automotive disasters to avoid.